Good morning, all of you. Now, today we are going to study about this atomic radius of these different types of elements. No, so in the last period we have seen about this potassium, sodium, rubidium, cesium, and lithium. Okay, so these are the elements of the first group. So some elements and their atomic radii are given here. So atomic radii are given. So it is given in at picometer. Okay, so that is 262. It is the biggest. Okay, radius is biggest, and the smallest is lithium. Okay, 152. So now by referring to the modern periodic table, find out the groups to which above the elements belong. So they belong to first group. Okay, now arrange the above elements vertically downwards in an increasing order of their atomic radii. Okay, so I have arranged this. You see here in the first group, lithium is the first one. From here I have taken lithium 152 picometer atomic radius. These are the atomic sodium 186, potassium 231, rubidium 244, and cesium 260. So in there it is in the increasing order. Okay. Now you see here these atomic numbers are given also: lithium 3, sodium 11, potassium 19, rubidium 37, and cesium 55. Now what they are telling now, arrange the above element vertically downward. So we have arranged this in the increasing manner. Okay. Now does this arrangement match with the pattern of the group 1 of the modern periodic table? Yes, it is matching. Which of the above elements have the biggest and the smallest atom? So you see here cesium is having the biggest 262, and the lithium is having 152. Okay, atom. This is the biggest atom and this is the smallest. Okay. So what is the periodic trend observe in the variation of atomic radii down a group? Okay. Now see here I want to just explain this how it is smaller when we are moving from in the group from up to top to bottom now. So it is smallest. How you see that three atomic number is there. So 2 electrons here in the first shell and 1 is in the second shell. Okay. So yes, the pull is very less here. Okay. Now here to sodium atomic number is 11. So 2 electron in the first this shell, second in 8, and in the last one is 1. Okay. So as we know that in the this period we have seen the pull of the electrons are more, because maximum their shells are not increasing, only the electrons are increasing. Here shells are increasing. Here 1 shell is increased. Here 2 shells are there. Okay, 3 shells are there. Okay. Now you see here this is the atom of potassium. So you see here how this there are 3 shells. So less pull is there towards the nucleus. So then it is means that there is a decrease is not there in the size of the atom. Okay, as we consider the circle only, this is our like circle. Okay, add a radius. This is the radius. What is radius? Radius of the atom, that is the that center point, the distance between the center point to the outermost shell. Okay, so this is the from here to here, this is the radius. Okay, so atomic like this positivity decreases here. Okay, and hence the atoms increases, size of the atom increases. So you will find that while going down a group, the atomic size goes on increasing. So atomic size goes on increasing. Okay, because of that pull is very less. Okay. This is because while going down a group, a new shell is added. So continuously new shell is added. Again, now you see here in here rubidium 4 shells are there. Here cesium 5 shells are there. Okay, so that increase. Therefore, the distance between the outermost electron and the nucleus goes on increasing. As a result of this, the atomic size, in spite of the increased nuclear charge, increases in spite of the increasing in nuclear charges. Okay. Now next is the metallic and non-metallic character. Okay, so some questions are there. Look at the elements of the third period, classify them into metals and non-metals. On which side of the period are the metals, left or right? It is on the left side metals are there, and on right side non-metals are there. On which side of the period did you find the non-metals? On the right side. Okay, now it is seen that the metallic elements like sodium, magnesiums are towards the left side. Okay, so already we have seen the metals are on the left side and the non-metals on the right side. So the non-metallic elements such as sulfur, chlorine are towards the right. The metalloid elements silicon lies in between these two types, a similar pattern is also observed in the other periods. Okay, so you see here, we have you see here the metals are on this left side, and as we are moving towards the right, the non-metals are there, and these are the metalloids. Okay, these 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, these are the zigzag, this pattern is there, that is the non metalloids. Okay, so the metalloid element silicon lies in between these two types. A similar pattern is also observed in the other period. It is seen that the zigzag line separates the metal from non-metals in the periodic table. Elements appear to have arranged in such a way that metals are on left side of this line, non-metals on the right side, and metalloids are along the border of the line. How did this happen? So let us compare the characteristic chemical properties of metals and non-metals. It is seen from the chemical formula of simple ionic compounds, as we have already studied about the ionic compounds, that the cation, for example, if you ionic compound, the best example is sodium chloride. Okay, the best example of ionic compound. What is there in ionic compound? Transfer of electron is there. Okay, that the cation. Okay, cation means, and the anions are there. Cation means the positive and the anions are negative. So in them is formed from metal. So you see in this ionic compound, sodium is the metal, okay, and the chlorine is the non-metal. So metal, while the anion from a non-metal. From this it is example, okay, sodium chloride is an best example of ionic compound. So from this it is understood that metal atoms have a tendency to form a cation, okay, by losing its valence electrons. Already we have seen in the sodium and chlorine, okay, this get positive and this get negative. As we have seen there, sodium is having atomic number 11 and chlorine is 17. So one electron is shifted here, okay, 2 8 and 1, the electronic configuration, and here 2 8 and 7. So what happens, one electron goes to that and it attains the stability. So on the other hand, an atom of non-metal has a tendency to form an anion by accepting electron from outside into its valence shell, or as case in just now we have seen. We have already seen that ions have a stable electronic configuration of a noble gas. Noble gas has a stable configuration. Helium, neon, these are the noble gas. How is the ability to lose or accept electrons in the valence shell determined? All the electrons in any atom are held by the attractive force exerted on them by the positively charged nucleus. As we know that nucleus is a positive charge. Electrons in the inner shell lie in between the valence shell and the nucleus. Because of their presence of the effective nuclear charge exerting an attractive force on the valence electron is somewhat less than the actual nuclear charge. Thus, the number of valence electron in metals is small, 1 to 3. These are the electrons, valence electron in metals. Also, the effective nuclear charge exerting attractive force on the valence electrons is small. As a combined effect of these two factors, metals have a tendency to lose their valence electron to form cation having a stable noble gas configuration. This tendency of an element is called electropositivity. So in which cases electropositive means loss of electron is the metallic character of that element. So when the metal lose one electron, so that is called as the electropositivity. Okay.